Welcome to CWS Christian Writing and Speaking. I'm your host, Jackie Wilson. And today's guest is the #1 international best-selling author of the book, Finish Line, Thinking, How to Think and Win Like a Champion. He is also the author of the books, The Thought Leader's Journey, A Fable of Life, and The Power of Connecting, How to Activate Profitable Relationships by Serving Your Network. He is a renowned inspirational speaker, and he's also the host of the #1 podcast in the world about thought leadership. He has helped people such as astronaut Chris Hadfield, Jack Canfield, author of Chicken Soup for the Soul, John Maxwell, and many others. And today he is going to share with us the inspiration behind all that he does. And it does involve his Christian beliefs. Let's welcome to the CWS stage, Mr. Nicky Billou. Welcome.
Thank you, Jackie. An honor to be here.
Yeah, I'm so excited to hear your story because you've done a lot of wonderful things in this world. But of course, the standout for me is that you are a Christian. And in what you do, you implement your belief and thoughts. Can you share with our audience your story?
I'd be glad to. As you said, I'm a Christian immigrant from the Middle East. I'm originally from Iran. And when I was a boy, the Islamic Revolution happened there. And my late father, God rest his soul, he could see the writing on the wall, and he did not want to raise his family in tyranny. So he brought us out of Iran and eventually settled us in Canada in the free West. And I thank God every day that my dad did that. Dad was able to see what was going to happen. And it was because of him that we get to live in a free country. We get to practice our faith freely. We get to participate in business and free enterprise. We get to speak our points of view. And I don't know if you've been following the news, but in Iran, just in the last week or two, this young woman, Mahsa Amini, 22 years old, was beaten to death by the morality police for the crime, quote unquote, of going outside with her hair partially uncovered. And this is horrible, like the true battle for women's rights is taking place in Iran because there's women that are protesting for the right to be able to go outside and have their hair be uncovered, which I think is, a no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. And so for me, my father was my example. He was an entrepreneur. He was a kind of man who uplifted everybody. If you needed a job, he'd help get you a job. If you wanted to get into business, he'd help set you up. If you worked for him and you needed money to buy a house, a car, an apartment, you were a little short, Dad would get you set up. And you might think to yourself, well, why would he do that? Wow. Well, he did that because he was a Christian. Number one, he believed he'd been blessed by God and that it was his duty to share those blessings with others. And secondly, he did it because he could. He was a successful entrepreneur. So to me, being somebody who is sharing his blessings with the world, who's wanting to make a difference, is something that came directly from my faith, which came from my father. So that's really, really important for me. And I got into business and I saw there were so many good people, especially good Christians, that are in business, but they don't want to come across the wrong way. They don't want to come across like they're pushy, like they're salesy, like they have commission breath. These folks want to come across in a good way. So the challenge with this is sometimes they don't go after business they should be going after. They stop themselves from people that really need their help. And so what I've done is I've helped them reframe selling to serving. Nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to be served by a caring advocate. And that's a big part of what we teach people, in particular Christians in business, is that, hey, God wants you to be of service to people. And of course, you should get paid to serve people. So focus on the service part and you will have a wonderful business. Now, it's easier said than done. It's one of the reasons why we teach what we teach inside our programs, but it's very powerful. It's very effective.
Yeah, matter of fact, that is what you're trying to convey through your books. Can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Well, yeah, I've actually written 8 books. So my business books are Finish Line Thinking, The Thought Leader's Journey, The Power of Connecting, and also How to Create $1 Million a Year Income. And in those books, really, my primary motivation is I want to give people hope. We're living in a time where a lot of people don't have hope. The last couple of years have been rough on people. These lockdowns have taken away people's belief, and there's a lot of uncertainty because of the inflation and the crazy policies of the government. And folks are just feeling, hey, they need somebody to show them a path. They need to be told it's going to work out. And to me, I wrote those books to say, you can become successful. You can think like a champion. That's what Finish Line Thinking is all about. Yeah. You can go into your own network and connect with good people who need your help, and they create a wonderful business. The thought leader's journey, it's told in the form of a fable. It's about a young man who learns what he has to do to get past his fear to start his own business and how to create $1 million a year income. I mean, everybody wants to make $1 million. It's a wonderful number. It's a wonderful goal. And there's a number of my clients that have done that. And with one of them, I sat down and, he's made $1 million 6 years in a row. So it's a good time to have him show people how they can make $1 million too. And just, I've been a part of his journey, and we thought it was great to write this book together to show people how that's possible for themselves. Now, I want everyone who's listening to this to get this. You got to believe you can win. You got to believe God is on your side. You got to believe that, because if you believe that, it will be manifested to you.
I love it. Nicky, what is next for you?
Well, we actually have an event coming up. This event is one of our quarterly branded thought leader immersion workshops. This is where we really bring in great people in the room who already have some expertise, already have a business, as a speaker, as an author, as a writer, as a coach, as a corporate trainer, etc. And we help these folks be part of a community of heart-based people, of good people, but the people that also want to take their business to another level. They want to serve more people. They want to earn more money. And we show them how that's done. In those 3 days, we help you make a decade's worth of progress in just 3 days. We set you on the path to be of service to a lot more people and to earn a lot more money. People have come and done our programs and added an extra 100,000, $250,000, $500,000, $1 million, $2 million or more to their annual income. It's a wonderful thing. And that's what we're looking to do again very soon, actually in just 3 weeks.
Yeah, certainly your generosity is just outpouring from your personality, and you truly believe what you are talking about when you talk about these wins. And so you mentioned the people that you plan to help through this upcoming conference. Can you tell us a little bit more about some of the people that you've helped in the past, and maybe what you feel is your best success story in helping someone?
Oh, that's such a great question. I want to tell you the story of a young woman. So this woman, actually, she was a wife and a mother, and she had been the country director for one of the world's leading personal development corporations. And she ran Canada. And she brought someone on board to help her run the country, because she thought this fellow was going to really be able to help her explode the results that they were looking to get. Unfortunately, the two of them didn't really get along. And after a while, she ended up leaving, and she got into a place where she was feeling a little bit lost. She had taken a step away from her vision in life, and she didn't know what to do. So 18 months floundering. And then she got introduced to us, and she saw that we were, people of faith, and we cared, and we wanted to make a difference. And we helped her get clear on her ideal target market. We helped her dial in her message, because those 2 points are very important, right? You can't just go after everybody. You can't have a mail message. You need a dialed in message. So her ideal target market were entrepreneurs with between $10 and $100 million a year in sales, who were not part of some sort of peer group, were not part of a coaching relationship, and were feeling that all the pressure was on them, and they were going to burst if they didn't do something to deal with this pressure. You know what I mean? So she started working with them. Her first month, she made $10,000 in profit. Her second month, she made $12,000 in profit. Her third month, she made $18,000 a year in profit. But her fourth month, Jackie, she made $62,200 in profit. It was amazing. It was incredible. And we were really thrilled for her. We kind of measure people's success and based on martial arts. So like if you were doing 10,000 a month, you're a white belt, 20,000 a month, you're a yellow belt, et cetera, and you did 60,000 or more a month, you're a black belt. So she was a black belt. Black is beautiful, baby. That's what we say. It's awesome there. So she lives in Ottawa. I live in Toronto. It's a 5-hour drive. My eldest son plays soccer. At the time, he was 12, and he was just kind of starting his soccer journey. Right now, he's 16, and he's actually quite a good soccer player. And he has a dream to go turn pro, and he's got a real shot. So, anyways, we were going to a tournament in Ottawa. So I called her up and I said, "Hey, my son and I were coming to Ottawa for a tournament. I know you have a son his age. How'd you like to come by for, a bit, watch one of the games? Maybe we'll go grab some lunch with the kids. What do you think?" And she goes, yeah, sounds great. So, we ended up doing that. Everybody had a great time. We drove home afterwards, it's great. A few weeks later, we were having one of our quarterly branded thought leader immersion workshops, right? And she was there, and we'd come to the point where there were some new people in the room, and we were doing our enrollment opportunity, right? And this is where we do our upsell, into the next program. And we have a wonderful year-long program that we really help people go to the next level, because we say it takes 3 years to go from wherever you are to $1 million a year income. And we have a good track record of helping people make an extra $500,000, $1 million, $2 million a year. So that was the point where we were, just going to say, hey, who would like to come to our program? But the way I do it is I don't do the pitch. I have our people do the pitch. So I say, hey, anybody here, would you like to, share your story with the audience? And she just didn't even wait to be called on. She bounded on stage and said, Mimi. I'm like, okay, this is great, because, I know she's done so well. And then she turns around and she looks over the audience, Jackie, and she started to cry. She just cried and cried and cried. And I just, like any red-blooded man faced with a crying female, I proceeded to panic. What did I do wrong? Why is she crying? But, my exterior was placid. It was calm. It was awesome that way. And she just looked at me. She says, Nicky, between tears, you didn't know this, but when you and your little son came to visit me and my little son asked me, Mommy, who are we going to go meet? The way little boys do with the excitement in their voice, the energy of a little boy, right? So, and she turned around to him. She goes, oh, we're going to go see Nicky Billou and his son. And she said, all of a sudden, my excited little son got very quiet. He became very serious, and his voice dropped. And he said, oh, are we going to get to meet the man who saved our family? And I just looked at her and I started to cry. And you need to get, I am not the kind of man who cries, certainly not in public. But I cried, we hugged, and she said, Nicky, you didn't know this, but we were about to lose our home. The bank was going to foreclose because we hadn't paid our mortgage in months when I met you. And my husband and I, we were fighting like cats and dogs every day. Looked like we were going to break up. This turned everything around for us. You literally helped us save our family. So here's what I got from that, Jackie. Number one is, you never know what someone's dealing with. This is someone's daughter, someone's wife, someone's sister, could be someone's son, someone's husband, someone's brother. They could be going through hell on earth and they are not ready to tell you because they just don't feel comfortable. And what you do matters, because you could literally be saving somebody from a horrible fate just by showing up and caring. And so I asked God to make me worthy of his mission for me to be of service. And the story gets better, because normally at that point, we hand out our registration forms to people to sign up. And a number of people immediately sign up, but there's a number of people that really need to have a conversation before they can be persuaded to sign up. They got to persuade themselves. They got to talk themselves into it. This time, nobody, and I mean nobody, needed any persuasion. They all signed up. And there'd been one fella, actually a couple, but one was particularly vocal, who beforehand said to me, Nicky, come here. Okay, what is it? He says, Nicky, now I know you're going to have an upsell. He says, listen, I've been around the block. I know. You're going to have an upsell. I said, I just want you to know, Nicky, I'm not going to buy your upsell. No. I'm not going to buy your upsell. So just don't be disappointed. And I'm like, sure, buddy, whatever, right? And he was the first person to sign up, Jackie. The first person. And he walked up to me and, excuse my language, he looked me in the eye and he said, I wasn't going to sign up. But I guess you're not full of crap and you're not like the others. You really care, don't you? And, I didn't really respond. I just smiled and he said, and I do need some help. And even the people that may be saying no aren't saying no to you. They're saying no to possibly being hurt again because they've probably gone through a bad experience with somebody. And that's what that showed me too. And that's one of the most beautiful stories I could ever tell you.
It's wonderful, Nicky. Absolutely wonderful. Tell people how they can connect with you.
So look, I'm all over social media. You can just look me up, Nicky Billou, Nickybillou. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn. We got a Rumble channel. We have we're on Getter and Parler as well. So folks can find me all over there. But the best way, if you're in business, is I got a website called ecircleacademy.com. Go to that website. There's a ton of free resources. And best of all, there's an opportunity for us to have a real conversation, get to know each other, because there's a button there that says book a success call. These success calls are absolutely offered on a complimentary basis. They're free of charge. And basically, it's a 45-minute conversation about you, about what you're dealing with, what's getting in the way of you getting to where you want, and how we can show you a path to get past that. So take advantage of it.
Thank you so much, Nicky. CWS audience, you have heard him. You matter, and how you show up for people matters as well. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And until next time, beautiful people, God bless.